I hope this marks the beginning to the end of a very painful time in our history.
There we have it today, marking a major milestone in the fight against the coronavirus. The biggest mass vaccination effort in the nation's history began with frontline healthcare workers receiving Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine. A New York City nurse was the first person in the United States to get that vaccine. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Regina Ahn.
And I'm Tom Sherry. Mark and Whitney are off this evening. We'll have more on the vaccine's arrival here in Washington State shortly. To our other top story tonight, though. A Spokane family says their dog got shocked by electricity in downtown Spokane over the weekend. It happened right across the street from City Hall.
In an exclusive interview with our Amanda Rowley, the owners shared how terrified they were in what seemed like the longest 5 seconds of their life.
Hey, Deuce. Hey, Dewey.
Dewey and his humans went to Riverfront Park over the weekend to enjoy the fireworks show. That lovely evening of holiday activities took a sharp turn when Dewey suddenly collapsed.
His bad hips prompt me all the time to pick up his back hips, help him into a car, or if he can't get up on a slick surface.
But this time, it was not his bad hips. Claire Miller says they were across the street from City Hall when Dewey stepped onto the lid of a junction box and made an awful sound.
Dewey started yelping, not like a howl, I mean really yelping in pain. We turned back and his back legs, his hips had collapsed, which happens a lot with Dewey, and so we thought maybe one of his hips had popped out, or maybe he was having a seizure, which has happened in the past. And I mean, it was a really long 5 seconds.
In those 5 seconds, they realized Dewey was being electrocuted. They frantically moved him off the metal lid and tried helping him calm down.
I just reached over to move his tail away. My hand was maybe 3 or 4 inches from the covering, but it electrocuted us again.
Dewey is expected to be okay.
And how old is he?
He's 13, we think.
The city of Spokane sent crews to inspect the junction box that same night. Spokesperson Marlene Feist says on Saturday, a technician found a wire with voltage between the side and the lid of the junction box. They believe this could have energized the lid and caused the shock. Feist says the area is now safe, but the city wants to be clear this is not the same situation that happened to another dog who died last year. Hank was electrocuted on a heated sidewalk outside the Washington Trust Bank building. An investigation determined a stray voltage caused the electrocution. The city of Spokane later adopted Hank's Law, which requires city buildings with heated sidewalks to upgrade their systems. And while they are not the same situation, Hank's owner, Zach Harper, knows the horror of this type of accident all too well.
I can remember it just like as if it was yesterday for me. So I truly just want to express, my most sincere condolences to the family that is going through with this.
We're very thankful that we can hang out with Dewey some more. And we just, hope that information can get out so that this doesn't happen again.
Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
We are happy that Dewey is okay.
Yes.
Well, back to our vaccine coverage right now. After months of reporting on COVID case counts and deaths, tonight, shipments of the vaccine are now arriving at 145 distribution sites all around the United States. Another 425 deliveries are planned Tuesday and 66 more deliveries on Wednesday. Almost 3 million people will get the vaccine this week in all 50 states, and then a second dose will follow in 21 days.
We have enough vaccines already purchased to ensure we can meet our goal of vaccinating every American who wants it by the end of the second quarter of 2021.
Dry ice keeps the vaccine at minus 94 degrees Fahrenheit. Extra shipments of that ice are also being delivered. Meantime, the U.S. is about to exceed 300,000 deaths that have been caused by COVID-19.
And the first shipment of the COVID-19 vaccine arrived in Washington state today, and the state is expected to receive 62,400 doses of Pfizer's vaccine this week. Around 500,000 people in our state will be eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine in its first distribution phase. And according to estimates from the State Department of Health, right now the first people who will receive the vaccine are high-risk workers in healthcare settings, high-risk first responders, and residents and staff of nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Spokane County will receive 3,900 COVID-19 vaccine doses in the first shipment. We still don't know which healthcare providers will be getting the first doses and exactly which day they will arrive.
Well, Idaho is also on track to receive at least 13,000 doses of the coronavirus vaccines. The first shipment is set to arrive by the end of this week. The vaccine is being distributed to 7 local public health districts. The locations were based on the number of healthcare workers in each of those districts. Like in Washington, healthcare staff, COVID patients, and long-term care facility workers are among the first to receive a shot. The state expects to receive another 89,000 total vaccines in the second and third shipments. Well, today we learned Fred Meyer will also be one of our local grocery stores that's also going to be offering the vaccine. Fred Meyer will partner with state health departments and the federal government to provide access to the COVID-19 vaccine. Get this, at 133 pharmacies all across the Northwest. During the pandemic, parent company Kroger became the nation's first retailer to offer rapid antibody tests to customers in all Kroger pharmacies. And pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens will also help administer the coronavirus vaccine.
And the CDC has created an app for people to use once they have gotten the first vaccine dose. It uses text messaging and web surveys to provide personalized health check-ins after you receive the first shot. Through vSafe, you can quickly tell CDC if you have any side effects after getting the COVID-19 vaccine. And depending on your answers, someone may call you from the CDC to check on you and get more information. vSafe will remind you also to get your second COVID-19 vaccine if you need one.
So we know that this is an awful lot of information about that new COVID-19 vaccine.
And that's why here at KREM we created the vaccine team. And so do you have a vaccine question that you'd like to ask? Well, we can look into it. Text us your questions to 509-448-2000. And for the latest vaccine updates so that you can stay up to speed, just text the word vaccine to that very same number there.
Well, turning our attention to tracking new coronavirus cases, Spokane Regional Health reports 286 new cases in Spokane County. Also, there have been 9 deaths now in the county for a total of 308. 99 people are currently hospitalized. To date, more than 21,000 cases have been confirmed in Spokane County. And as COVID cases have spiked in jails and prisons here in eastern Washington and around the state, families of inmates, advocates, and state senators are calling for a change. In a statewide virtual meeting today, families shared stories about unsafe conditions at Washington prisons. After hearing their stories, State Senator Joe Nguyen said more needs to be done to protect the health and safety of inmates in this pandemic and beyond.
That much more needs to be done to protect those in our prison populations. And I think a lot of what that means is simply letting people go faster, right? The means to provide a pathway other than incarceration for folks, especially those in community facilities.
So when asked about when inmates might get access to the COVID vaccine, there was no clear answer.
And across state line now, the Panhandle Health District reporting 451 new coronavirus cases since Saturday. There were 3 new deaths recorded. There are currently 78 hospitalizations due to COVID-19. And turning the page now to a look at weather. Tom, I gotta say, I love the snow, actually. I mean, even though I love the warm weather, it was really pretty out there. And
beautiful.
I got to run Finn out on the field with the snow.
Finn,
really
explain who Finn is.
Finn is my golden retriever.
That's right.
Love Finn.
And then she also has a pet dolphin that she calls Rover.
And Huckle, too. Huckleberry. I don't know.
don't know where that one's going. Folks, look at this. We've got more snow on the way a little bit tonight, more expected tomorrow. Everywhere you see shaded in blue right here, this is a winter weather advisory from 4 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. These areas could get 1 to 4 inches of snow. We think here locally in the Spokane area we'll get 1 to 2 inches of snow. We're below freezing right now. The winds are calm, but tomorrow we'll see winds gusting to about 25 miles per hour. Keep in mind, we saw quite a bit of melting today. Well, that is going to be freezing up tonight. We're below freezing, and we're going to look for temperatures to drop down into the upper 20s. Right now, you take a look at the radar, you get a few isolated snow flurries, but really no organized weather system until later tonight. Right around 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight, we think we'll see a little bit of light snow move into the area. Look for some patchy freezing fog overnight with a low of 29. Snow at times tomorrow, maybe changing to rain as we look for a daytime high of 37. You know me, even though it's Monday, I'm always looking ahead to the weekend. We're looking for temperatures that are going to be like 10 to 11 degrees above average. 43 expected in Spokane. We'll start out with some snow, maybe change it over to rain. Only rain expected on Sunday with that daytime high of 44 degrees. Wow. Check the 10-day forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes.